Okay, I dropped my son off at uni. Came back, did a bit of filming at Minkawa, a few test runs, and it's 2:40 now. I'm just going to pot up some more of this newspaper cellulose. What I'm going to do is a whole bucket this day today, and what I'm going to do is melt a hole. Once I've made it up, melt a hole or slit in the bottom of one of the buckets as per usual, but I'm going to put a bit of glad wrap in there as like an artificial hymen in the bottom of the bucket, so that it will retain the water, and as it gets rained on and fills up like with the other containers, it will get to the top, and if it gets too sopping, I can then pierce the bottom of the glad wrap and let the excess water run out. And I can also then test the water to see if it looks like tannins, you see. Anyway, I'm on night scene foliage with macro button pressed on wide angle lens. I'm just going to get my other bucket so I can pull the excess water off. So yeah, I've got about 15 minutes to do this. I'm going to go and pick my son up, so I've got to leave about 3:30. So, but we got some stunning. We had about at least 4 inches overnight, and we had a bit of hail as well on the roads. Tasmania's had a real nasty time. I think there's like 250,000 homes or something without power. So you know, quite a lot of homes, and most of the homes in Tasmania, well, in parts of Tasmania anyway. So yeah, and Victoria's had a bit of a blustery thing. I'm going to look at the news just before I go, I suppose. Got our next door neighbours coming around to talk about the fence over there. The fence over there getting replaced. You can see that in the distance. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, it's all go today. And yeah, now I've got to look at the viewfinder, and where was I? Oh, yeah. Get down to this. As before, I think in the previous times, you've been missing all the action. I've been pouring it to one side, and you've been missing the action. So, well, and now you're missing the sunlight. So you just can't win, can you, sometimes? Anyway, this has had 24 plus 12 hours. So what's that? 36 hours. And yeah, it's basically that one and a half to 2 idea seems to be holding out. So basically it holds about 1.5 its volume in water, and swells up to about 6 litres. So I'm going to assume that, I'm making the assumption that since it's up to almost the line of the 6 litre mark, that it is 6 litres. You know, we're going from the accuracy to the precision part of the equation. And I'm going to double the amount that I add to the formula to see if we can actually, if the plants can cope with that. In the idea we could head from capes into fly traps into Sarracenia. Because if I start taking Sarracenia leaves in the tissue culture, I want something to try them out in. But this is another formulation I've set up. It's based on new work coming out of that Sarracenia purpurea pot. So yeah, it's sort of going back to the source sort of thing, going back to the egg or the idea, and mixing it up with the that old hypothesis that threw up some ugly merit sort of thing. So I'm sort of back engineering everything on the height of new all this new data that's coming in that's saying, oh, we really don't understand what's going on, and we really don't, you know, appreciate things. So yeah. So anyway, so that's that one. I'll do it again with this one. Maybe a case of just doing a whole bucket like this and then just measuring off as calling it 10 litres and doing it that way would be a lot easier. And instead of having one part for 600 mils, we'll have 2 parts for 600 mils, and say that it's 10, So whatever we add to 6 litres, we add the 4, and then 4 plus 6 equals 10. I think. Is that in the? You getting any of that? That's better. But yeah, how we go for time, fellas? Oh, not bad. 5 minutes, I suppose. I think we'll get there if we don't have any phone calls or anything like that. Slow us down. But yeah. But as you can see, it's pretty easy to do this stuff. You just let it soak overnight. I mean, just buy it in a bag. It's fairly cheap. And yeah. Yeah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy Japanese, as they say. So, you don't slip up and make a silly mistake of, you know, not holding both ends of this thing or something. There we go. There's a little bit. There we go. A few pellets on the ground there we can pick up, but not too many. So they're still pretty firm, but they've swelled up, so you know you can see how they get the extra half apart over time. They still have room, and I've noticed they're being rained on. There's still none of the big pots are really getting fully saturated, like the brand's already got fully saturated. So anyway, so now it may be a case of measuring this out to the full whack and doing it that way and saying, you know, yeah, measuring this out to the top of the, I'm doing it that way and calling it 10 litres and do it that way. I just want it firm down. I don't want to compress it. I just want to, you know, keep it sort of. Well, actually, it might be a case of our so-called 2 lots of 6 litres actually. Almost, yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, I reckon we're pretty accurate, because look, we've got about that much in there, which is probably about out by half a litre, I reckon, which isn't too bad, I suppose. Anyway, that looks like it's about there, fellas. We'll call that about 10 litres, I reckon. So what do you reckon? Yeah, I think we're out by about a litre, I reckon. So what looks like 12 litres is actually 11. But anyway, that should be enough for calling that. We'll call that 10 litres. This is going to compress down over time anyway. And we'll now make another clip. We'll add our spoonfuls into that, and I'll get some sort of little baby bath or something I've got to mix it up with. Okay, over and out for now.